Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Today we will discuss about the role of bioinformatics and applications of bioinformatics in drug designing, especially the use of tools and databases of bioinformatics in drug designing and discovery. So, what is bioinformatics and what are its applications which are related to discovery of new drugs? Basically, bioinformatics helps us to perform multiple of functions which are related to biosciences research, and this research can be used for discovery of new drug molecules. So, bioinformatics helps us in DNA sequence analysis, molecular dynamics simulations, drug designing, protein sequence analysis, phylogenetic analysis, molecular interaction studies, and molecular modelings. So these functions or these applications of bioinformatics can be very useful and very helpful in the field of new drug design and discovery. So first of all, we have to understand what do we mean by drug designing or drug discovery. So drug discovery is basically is a process in which new drug molecules are discovered or designed to cure different diseases. So in this case, we need to discover new drug molecules. It does not deal with the existing or previously available molecules, but drug discovery deals with the discovery of new therapeutic effects of the molecules. So the drug discovery is very important aspect of our life. It plays a very crucial role in our health and treatment of various diseases. Now, the traditional process of drug discovery was very quite slow and expensive as well. So, a lot of time was consumed for designing and discovery of new drugs traditionally in the previous years. And when the time was consumed, when the energies were consumed, materials were consumed, then the cost of drug discovery was very high. That is why this is one of the reasons that why the drugs are very costly. So one of the cost is the cost of research and development. So research and development was very slow with the traditional processes, and research and development was very expensive with the traditional or classical methods or processes. But now there is an increasing market pressure to find out new drugs in a minimum or short period of times. For example, when we see that the cases of corona or COVID-19 emerged, then there was an urgent need for vaccination and antiviral agents which could be useful and beneficial for the treatment of COVID-19. But the urgent availability, the urgent need of the effective therapeutic agents, this is the market pressure, which pushes us to speed up the process of drug discovery. So, how can we speed up the process of drug discovery? We can speed up the process of drug discovery by taking help from the uh, computers and the computing powers of the computers. So computer aided drug design has emerged as a new scientific field of research in which we can study new molecules and discover new therapeutic effects of the molecules for the treatment and cure of the diseases. Now, what is the process of drug designing? The drug designing is a continuous process in which we have to identify the drug targets and then validate the targets. Then we have to optimize the leads. Lead means the candidate molecules, which can be used as the drugs. Leads basically means those candidate molecules, the list of those molecules which we are studying for the treatment of a specific disease. So we need to identify and optimize those lead molecules. And then we need to deliver therapeutic effect with the help of identification of targets. So what is the target? The target is the specific molecule, which is mostly the protein, and the specific amino acids within the proteins at which the molecule will be binding, and it will be showing any behavioral change or any conformational change or any effect on the protein molecule. So the target is the protein molecule or the specific amino acids or the motifs or domains within the protein molecules at which the lead molecule is likely to bind. And then this binding will show a therapeutic effect. Now, in order to study the lead molecules and in order to identify the best possible lead molecules, we need to know the metabolic processes, because the metabolic processes are involved in the health and disease of the human body. And mostly the diseases are caused by any unwanted changes in the metabolic processes of the human body. So, knowing the metabolic processes is very essential in order to study the binding of the new molecules at the specific steps within the metabolic processes. So there is another opportunity, which is the sequencing of human genome. The sequencing of human genome has already been done, and all the sequences of the human genomes have been discovered, and it provides us a good opportunity to discover new molecules and new molecule targets, because the when we have all the data of the genes in the form of the nucleotide sequences, then we can identify the specific uh, proteins, motifs, and the coding sequence, non-coding sequences within the genome. We can identify the single nucleotide polymorphisms. We can we can identify the various gene targets and various protein targets within the human cells by studying the human genomes. So, drug designing is a very interesting process in which the targets in a particular disease are studied. The targets in a particular disease, those targets which are involved in the emergence of the disease. So if we can identify those specific uh, disease pathways, then we can alter the pathways and mechanisms and processes by adding some chemical entity, by adding some enzyme, by adding some molecule, and this molecule which will be able to manipulate or which will be able to change the metabolic process